Hello, my name is Eric Taysom, and this is my video portion of the critical assignment for Kinesiology 274. My chosen activity is the squat clean, and I was able to have my brother-in-law help me with the assignment. Unfortunately, I did not have access to a gym or any weights this week, so I had to improvise. I ended up using a broom handle to mimic the barbell. Um, of course, there's no weight on it, uh, in addition to the broom handle weighing next to nothing. So although there's not a proper weight to use and to look at, we can still look at form or the lack thereof, and we can still make proper corrections and just pretend there's weight on the broom handle. So let's get started. All right, so I'll go through these videos a few times for you and just explain what I see. First, we see this knee wobble right here. He actually lost his balance. I asked him about it, and he really did lose his balance. There was a pause after, but he added that. But the initial reactive postural control was legit. He did lose his balance. Two, on the front anterior version view, excuse me, he doesn't squat low enough, uh, and this could be because of just poor form. It could be from not being stretched enough. It could be from other things like an injury, or it could be maybe he's got some femoroacetabular impingement or whatever it is, but he's not getting low enough on that squat. Um, although there's no weight, if you were to imagine weight on that side view, the lateral view, when he muscles it up like that and the bar goes way out in front of him, and he muscles it way too high, so with that muscling, my question would be to him, once there's weight on it, is there enough explosion? Is there enough extension in the ankles, the knees, the hips, and the elbows to get that bar really moving, with that speed to then be able to drop under it? Is the drop good? Are his feet in the right position? All those things can be answered better or more easily, excuse me, when there's weight on the bar. It's not an arm exercise. Of course, they're used. There's definitely shrugging. There's definitely some shoulder flexing going on. There's other stuff going on, but it's mostly an explosion exercise built for legs, for entire lower body and upper body as well. But it really focuses on the legs. Uh, Next, you can't see this in the video as well. It kind of cuts it off, but his toes in both the anterior and the posterior views, all his weight is on his toes. His heels are actually off the ground. This is a huge issue for center of gravity. Of course, you can kind of see his entire center of gravity is really far forward. Of course, having weight on the bar will kind of allow you to sit back more because you have that pulling. So, of course, the broom handle doesn't help. Um, but for all intents and purposes, you can see, you know, his center of gravity is way too far forward. He's on his toes, and it's either going to be a missed clean. He's going to drop it. He's going to throw it forward, or he's going to injure himself. Next, on the lateral view, you can see it. The bar goes way out in front of him and way too high. Of course, it's probably a broom handle thing, but as you can see, that's an issue with form right there. You need to bring it really close to the body. And then lastly, in the anterior view, you never drop the weight like that. Of course, he's probably thinking, oh, broom handle, not a big deal. I'm not going to hurt myself. But um, by dropping the bar like that, you're going to have major back issues. Coming down with that speed and that force, just letting your back flex like that, you're going to have back issues, probably elbow and shoulder issues as well, maybe some whiplash, depending on how fast you're going. Try to get the bar down as close to your center of gravity as you can. Neutral spine. If you have to, just drop it from straight up. And of course, it's going to make a big loud noise. It's going to bounce all over the place, and people are going to stare at you, but you're not going to leave with broken back. All right, so for some things for him to work on, I came up with a short list of things that he could do to improve his squat clean. First would just to have a wider base. His legs were in a little bit too far. A slightly wider base, about shoulder width, maybe even just barely more than shoulder width is fine. Gives you a better base of support. And then focus on sitting back. He was so far forward, he needs to rock back and sit almost like he's sitting in a chair, and he needs to have a lot more spinal extension instead of really kind of doing this rounded flexion here. He needs to really sit back. So once you have a weight here, it's almost like you're rocking back until you're almost about to fall, and you're good right there. We don't want to see that flexion. We don't want to see any butt wink. Um, Another thing would be everything should be extended before there's any elbow flexion occurs. So when he's coming up on this clean, he was coming up, and then there was a little bit of flexion here before he's extended, and he starts to muscle it. But what you need to see is there needs to be extension, full extension in the ankles, the knees, the hips, and the elbows here. Even in the spine, you see this full extension, and once you get to here, the bar should be moving at its fastest point, which makes it a lot easier to then drop and get under it. And then another thing that I saw that I can correct it pretty easily is he went out so far with the bar. What I like to do is you have the bar here, and you kind of pretend or kind of think about your thumbnails and pretend like they're going to go up, and you're going to scrape from your stomach to your chest. If your hands can't reach your stomach, you're too far out. You want it to ride up your body as close to the line of gravity as you can, and then drop. So you're pretty much going to get to about the nipple line here, and then it should be moving pretty quick, and then drop under it. Lastly, just some exercises that you can work on besides stretching, which is very important. Same exercises I have in my CAP 8. Standing jumps, stationary jump lunges, jammer, love that one. Drop unders, front squats, and then the trap bar deadlift. Those are all really good ones for leg strength, for balance, coordination, explosive power. Same kind of thing as my CAP 8 assignment. Probably take him, because I know him personally, it'd probably take him about a month really to get the form down and to get those necessary slight tweaks in strength, flexibility, other things to get it really going. But about a month. But clean is really an intense lift, so safety first for sure. So if it takes longer, totally fine.